Hello, welcome to DK Boljat. I'm glad you're here. I'm working on this painting, landscape painting. We put in a little bit of water last time, and today I'm gonna put a little bit of reflection of the trees back in there. And how I'm gonna do that is I've got green on my brush, and I'm just gonna come in here and touch it to the water where the water is. And it is a different color green. I'll see if that's gonna bug me. Until then, I'm gonna continue. Yeah, it's gonna bug me. So I'm gonna get this green, which is the green of the trees, instead of using that was actually, sort of a, I know what I'm thinking it is. Anyway, this is Hooker's green, and this is gonna work okay. This will work good. Much better, because that's the color we used, or I used, for the trees to begin with, so. All right. I'm gonna make the color a little bit more fir green instead of bright green, and go right over it. Just come right back in and do it again. And nobody's gonna be the wiser. It's gonna be fine. And there's another one right there. And I've still got reflections that I kind of left in the water. I'm gonna leave those there. These are just more vivid ones. Where the trees are taller, I'm gonna put them in. And then when they're smaller, I'm gonna do them like that as well. And there's lighter colors in there, so I'm gonna get the lighter green. It's got a little bit of yellow in there. There we go. Got the brush loaded. Coming in here doing the same thing with the lighter green. And then what I want to do is I'm not going to use this brush. I'm going to get a different fan brush. Same size, just a brand new brush. One that's clean, that has no water or paint on it. I'm going to work over on the edge here. All right, that'll be good enough. I'm rinsing off the paint on this guy. And then I'm gonna just grab another brush that's dry. Same size as the other one, which I think was a 10-0. And I'm just gonna pull from one side to the other, making the reflections in the water. My brush is just going back and forth over where the trees are. They do not have to be a perfect reflection because the water's moving. Well, a little bit, the wind moves it a little bit. And this will give the illusion of trees. Here we go. Reflections of trees in the water. So I can also pull into it with my brush if I want to bring gaps between the trees or do anything like that. So I'm just gonna, there we go, just back and forth, side to side. And I think that looks a little bit more believable as a reflection on, on days when it's totally still and there's a lot of sun out, you'll be able to see it like that. Okay. Also, I'm going to put a little bit of white on the on the shoreline where it's meeting the trees. I'm going to put a little bit of white, and that's with a tiny round brush. A tiny round brush. You could also use a script liner if you wanted to, but for now, I'm going to just use a small round brush. There we go. That's pretty tiny right there. That'll work. All right. It is says it's a Velvet Touch 3 /0, but it's super super tiny. I'm gonna put some white on there. I'm whiting it down so that it's thinner, more like ink instead of paint. I don't need it to be really thick. And this is, I learned this from Bob Ross. It's a Bob Ross technique, but I'm doing it with acrylic paint, which is, you can do that. It's good to break the rules occasionally. I'm breaking the rules. Okay, I'm gonna turn the painting sideways. And I wanna come in from this side to make it a nice sharp line. So I'm just gonna try to paint that right on the edge where it's meeting the ground. We want it to be pretty much a straight line, so I need to quit brushing. There we go. Now that's really thick. So I've shared on previous videos, you can just take another round brush, wet it down, and pull right over the top of that. So this doesn't have a lot of water on it, it's just a little bit. We're just gonna thin that line out. And it also went up into the trees, which I don't need that. I don't need it up in the trees. We'll get it from the other direction, I think. There we go. Okay, now I'm ready to keep going. Just putting in that little line gives us, and you know, I keep making it big. So I'm gonna make it with again, making it thinner. There we go. And continuing. This time I'm going to roll the brush in the paint, which will help tremendously. Rinse that off, and then I'm going to thin out the line again with the other round brush I had. Picked up a little green there, doesn't matter. There we go. Okay. I think that's pretty good. I need to take it out of the trees here. I can put the green of the trees back in there. There we go. And I can take that line up. I'm going to just try it with a fan brush, why not? As long as it has stiffer bristles, which this one does. It's made for, I think, multimedia paint. Okay, coming back around. I think that's fine. I'm going to leave it like that. Yes, and I'm so glad you joined me. Thank you for hanging out with me while I'm painting this. And yes, please subscribe to DK Boljat. And I will be talking to you in the next video. God bless you, and I'll see you next time.